So for my project 4 code, I began it with a while loop to see what would be true, and inside of that, I took the integer input to let the user know that they have to enter a positive integer unless they want to quit right away. And then under that, I use if-else to state if the integer is negative, it'll just break immediately and end, and it'll say, thanks for playing with numbers, goodbye. Then with the else, if it were to be positive, I assigned all the roots and additive persistence and multiplication roots and persistence for all the positive number integers. Then I put a temporary variable for the integer since it'll be changing every time it goes through. Then I want to make sure that we're in the multiplication loop, so I begin a while, making sure it's not equal to 0, and I count for the amount of numbers and for the multiplication, and then I reassign the temporary number since it'll be changing every time it's multiplied between each number within the main integer that was inputted from the beginning. And then within that, once that temporary variable isn't equal to 0, it'll keep multiplying, and I use the modulo operator to account for that as well, and the division to make sure it is 2 digits or less, and if not, it'll keep going back to here. And if the count ends up being just one single digit, it'll automatically break since there's nothing else really to multiply with. And then here, another temporary for the multiplication, and print the result to show what we got for this loop. And if the persistent, it'll continue if you add the 1 and the root is equal to the temper up here. Also, we're going to assign it again to the integer, but this time for the addition loop. And while this isn't equal to 0, it'll be the sum. So since sum is an operator within Python, it'll automatically give me the sum of the integers, and then reassigning another temporary variable, it'll keep going through this loop until it equals one single digit again, and then it'll just break. And once the temper is equal to the additive root, it'll print the sum of whatever it got, and the additive root is equal to that temporary variable up here. And for the end, you have to print for the integer and then whatever that original integer assigned up there was, and then print all of the persistence, the roots, and the other persistence and roots, and show how many times it had to go through to get the final root, and same over here. Now we'll run it. We'll do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I got 120 first, then 0, because there's 0 and 120, and then 15 and 6. And it shows you how many times it had to go through and what the root is. And now we'll do another one, maybe like 3997. Another 0 is in here, so it'll be 0 as the root. Again, the math shows you how many times, but this time for the additive, it went through 3 times instead of 2 like it did last time. Then we'll do maybe 6, 9, 8, 7. Again, we had another 0. And then let's do a negative. Automatically just quits. and the code won't go again. But if we were to run it and maybe try to get the first multiplication without a 0, like this, it goes through 3 times instead of the 2 that we've been seeing, and the root is finally something other than 0. Thank you.